Welcome to A Shadows of Truth, where the veil between reality and the unknown is thinner than you might think. I'm your host, guiding you through the twilight zone of human experience, where every story treads the fine line between the believable and the incredible. Tonight, we present tales that challenge the boundaries of our understanding, stories that invite you to question what you know about the world around you. Our journey begins in 1897 with the curious case of the Greenbrier Ghost, a spectral figure whose testimony reached beyond the grave to serve justice in the courts of the living. Then, we'll step into the mysterious woods of Harper's Hollow, where the Midnight Carousel spins a tale of otherworldly journeys and the prices paid for a glimpse into the unknown. In A Shadows of Truth, the extraordinary lurks in the shadows of the ordinary, asking us to believe, if only for a moment, in the possibilities that lie just beyond the edge of reason. So, settle in, keep an open mind, and let the shadows reveal their truths. In the quiet town of Greenbrier, West Virginia, in the year 1897, an unusual story unfolded, one that has since woven its way into the fabric of local folklore and the annals of legal history. This is the story of the Greenbrier Ghost, a tale that blurs the lines between the earthly and the ethereal, between fact and fiction. Elva Zona Hester was a young woman known for her beauty and vibrant spirit. She caught the eye of Erasmus Shue, a blacksmith with a mysterious past. Despite her mother's reservations, Zona and Erasmus married. Their union, however, was short-lived. On a cold January day, a young boy discovered Zona's lifeless body at her home. She lay at the foot of the stairs, stretched out with her feet together and one hand on her abdomen. The local doctor, George Knapp, was summoned to examine the body, but by the time he arrived, Erasmus had already dressed his wife in a high-necked dress with a stiff collar and placed a veil over her face. Erasmus exhibited such profound grief, cradling his wife's head and sobbing, that Dr. Knapp, out of respect and sympathy, conducted only a cursory examination, declaring her cause of death as everlasting faint. However, Zona's mother, Mary Jane Hester, was unconvinced by the doctor's conclusion. Distraught, she prayed fervently for her daughter to return from the dead and reveal the truth about her untimely demise. According to Mary Jane, her prayers were answered when Zona's ghost appeared to her over 4 successive nights. The apparition of Zona detailed how Erasmus had been abusive and, in a fit of rage, had broken her neck. To prove her point, the spectral Zona turned her head completely around at the base of her neck. Armed with this supernatural testimony, Mary Jane approached the local prosecutor, John Alfred Preston, and persuaded him to exhume Zona's body for a thorough autopsy. Skeptical but intrigued by Mary Jane's conviction, Preston ordered the exhumation. The autopsy revealed a broken neck, with ruptured ligaments and marks of strangulation, just as the ghost of Zona had described. Faced with this damning evidence, Erasmus Shue was arrested and charged with the murder of his wife. During the trial, the defense attempted to discredit Mary Jane by emphasizing her belief in her daughter's ghostly visitations. However, the judge ruled this testimony admissible and the jury, perhaps swayed by the physical evidence and the peculiar circumstances of the case, found Shue guilty of murder. Erasmus Shue was sentenced to life in prison, where he died a few years later. The trial of Erasmus Shue remains one of the only known cases in which the testimony of a ghost, or, more accurately, the story of such an apparition, helped secure a conviction. To this day, the story of the Greenbrier Ghost stands as a haunting reminder of the mysteries that lie beyond the veil of death, a testament to a mother's love that reached beyond the grave, and a curious footnote in legal history where the supernatural and the judicial intersected in the most extraordinary of ways. In the shadowed, whispering woods of Harper's Hollow, there existed an age-old legend, quietly spoken among the townsfolk, about the Midnight Carousel. It was said to appear only on the clearest of nights when the moon was at its fullest, bathed in an otherworldly glow that seemed to dance through the trees. This story, passed down through generations, was etched into the very soul of the town, yet it was always with a hint of skepticism, until the summer of 2004, when young Emma Collins stumbled upon its secrets. Emma was a curious soul, with an insatiable appetite for the mysteries that lay hidden in the world around her. It was during one of her nocturnal escapades, under the light of a full moon, that she first heard the distant, enchanting music. The sound was like nothing she had ever heard, a melody that seemed to beckon her, pulling at the strings of her heart with a sweet, sorrowful longing. Following the music through the dense thicket, Emma emerged into a clearing where the sight that greeted her was as magnificent as it was impossible. There, amidst the ancient trees, stood the Midnight Carousel. It was an exquisite creation, adorned with intricately carved horses, each one alive with vibrant colors that glowed under the moon's caress. The carousel spun slowly, invitingly, with no operator in sight. Driven by a mix of fear and fascination, Emma approached the carousel. As she laid her hand on one of the wooden steeds, the music swelled, and a voice, soft and melodic, whispered in the air around her. "Ride, but be wary of the price," it said, a warning wrapped in a riddle. Without fully understanding why, Emma climbed onto the carousel. The moment she settled into the saddle, the world around her blurred into streaks of light and shadow. When the carousel came to a stop, Emma found herself no longer in the woods of Harper's Hollow but in a place that was altogether elsewhere, a mirror of her town, steeped in silence and bathed in an eternal twilight. In this twilight town, Emma encountered shades of people she knew, living out their lives unaware of their spectral existence. As she wandered, the voice returned, explaining that the carousel bridged the gap between worlds, between what was and what might be. The price of the ride was a piece of her essence, a memory that would forever remain in the twilight. Determined to return to her own world, Emma sought out the carousel once more, discovering that to ride back, she must offer another memory. With a heavy heart, she agreed, and as the carousel spun, her world came rushing back, the music fading into the night. Emma awoke in the woods at dawn, the carousel gone as if it had never been. She remembered her adventure, but found gaps in her memories where other, mundane moments used to be. Back in her world, Emma kept the secret of the Midnight Carousel, the price she paid a constant reminder of her journey. Years passed, and the tale of Emma's night became another thread in the tapestry of legends surrounding Harper's Hollow. Some nights, when the moon is full and the air is clear, you might still hear the distant melody of the carousel, a call to the curious, a beacon for the bold. And so, the Midnight Carousel spins on, a gateway to the mysteries that lie just beyond the edge of belief, a reminder that the world is filled with wonders and warnings, should we dare to look or ride a little closer. As the curtain falls on tonight's tales within the shadows of truth, we're left to ponder the thin line that separates the world we know from the one we dare not imagine. The stories of the Greenbrier Ghost and the Midnight Carousel invite us to explore the depths of the unknown, to question the very fabric of reality itself. But what do you think? Were these narratives mere products of the human imagination, or do they hold fragments of truth veiled in the supernatural? Your insights and beliefs are the heartbeat of our journey into the shadows. We urge you to share your thoughts and interpretations in the comments below. Engage with us, challenge us, or simply tell us which story pierced the veil of your skepticism, tempting you to believe in the unbelievable. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you find yourself craving more expeditions into the enigmatic and the extraordinary. Every like, comment, and subscription fuels our quest for stories that dwell in the delicate balance between fact and fiction, light and shadow. Join us again as we venture back into the shadows of truth, where reality is not just what you see, but also what you believe it to be. Until next time, keep questioning, keep wondering, and most importantly, keep believing in the possibility of the impossible.